We have a special season 3.5 summer edition with this special guest, number 46.
Hi, my name is Paulette Earl. Here I come.
We have a special season 3.5 summer edition with this special guest, number 46.
Hi, my name is Paulette Earl. Here I come. Earl. Here I come.
All right, welcome to the program. Do we really know them? We have a special show today. I know we went on break and then now we're back for a very special summer edition. Uh, it's called 3.5 edition, and we have a wonderful guest. Her name is Paulette Earl, that we've connected on LinkedIn, and we will bring her in here shortly. Let me go ahead and just pull up the slides so Miss Earl can show up and we get to really know who she is. And here is the slides for it. So this will be episode number 46 with Paulette Earl, who's supposed to be joining us anytime on the show. I will add her here in a second.
I am doing great. I had to join on 2 devices.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. I'm glad you made it. How are you today?
I am great.
Awesome,
How you
awesome. I'm
doing?
excited. Let me go lower this thing here a little bit, and then we'll talk. I'll make it bigger for you, and then we'll get there. So let's make it the same size. There we go. Perfect. Awesome. All right. Thank you for being on the show. Do we really know them? Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I
Awesome,
can.
awesome.
I hear you
Appreciate you
well.
being on the show. This is a show where we get to know our wonderful people from LinkedIn. All right. Let me just share the questions. All right. I'm
All
excited
right.
to have you here. Appreciate you being here. And the questions will be here. You are guest number 46. How do you feel about that?
That's awesome.
All right. All right. So we are live on YouTube, Facebook, and also LinkedIn. And our
Thank you
viewers
much.
should be able to watch. Awesome. All right. First of all, we're gonna first question is gonna be, uh, tell us about your background and where you grew up, and your childhood. How that was like.
Well, it was wonderful. I was born to wonderful parents, mom and dad, and we had a lot of fun growing up. There was 8 kids. I grew up in Las Vegas, Nevada. Mom was a stay-at-home mom, and dad was the provider. Dad worked 2, 3 jobs to provide for us. As a matter of fact, we didn't even eat dinner till dad came home. He was our king.
Oh wow.
It was wonderful. My mom taught me to be a housewife as well.
Uh
I
huh.
rebelled. I didn't get married till I was 45 years old.
Oh,
Um,
that's interesting. How did that? So you had a good upbringing, right?
yes, I did. I had one sister who passed away as a baby, 18 months, and I had 6 brothers, and it was fun at all times.
That's amazing. What was the most challenging thing you had as growing up? And then you were. This is in Vegas back in. I don't want to put your age, but how was the era during that time?
Well, at that time, the wife was totally submitted to her husband. As a matter of fact, the wives did not even have like when things happen, if we called the police would say, "Are you married?" Well, she was property of the husband. So
Oh,
growing up in Las Vegas, you can get anywhere in Las Vegas within 10 minutes. It wasn't very big. I remember when I got my driver's license at 16, there's a four-way stop. I did not know how to drive on a four-way stop with the one traffic light, and
oh,
I had to
really?
figure it out. And I went to school with
Oh,
some
wow.
wonderful people, teachers. It was just really wonderful. I have no complaints. Cousins, many cousins, uh, uncles and aunts and grandma, and my grandma was so much fun. She was so much fun, and I have no complaints. I was totally fulfilled with my family. We were poor, but we didn't know it. Everybody was poor.
That's interesting how you mentioned that how the husband would listen to the wife. That how things have changed now, right? It's amazing.
Yeah, the laws did change. I helped change those laws as I grew up because I saw what my mom went through. I was very involved in politics and union and a lot of stuff, a lot of different areas. The laws did change 20 years later because you own as property of the husband.
Aha, got it. Oh wow, okay. We have some viewer here watching. His name is Maruf. He's saying he wrote, I think, a waving hand, the pink hand. Thank you for joining us. He's from Bangladesh, all the way there. I think it's like 5 in the
Are
morning
you
there.
still
Thank
there?
you for joining us. He's a good friend. Yep. Can you hear me? I'm here. I'm here. Yep. I can hear you. Can you hear me,
Hello?
Paulette? Yeah. Maybe you got to rejoin. I can hear you. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. It says that the connection failed, was lost. I can hear you now.
Okay. Try to rejoin. Okay, rejoin. Okay, you can hear me. Awesome. All right, thank you. Yeah, I said if anything happens, you can rejoin, refresh the screen, kind of thing. But appreciate it. Okay, I was saying we have a guest from Bangladesh. He's watching the show here. Okay. All right, excellent. Let's go on to the next question here. Okay, what activities did you participate in during your teenage years? What activities?
I was chaperone everywhere I went. I had security. I was raised very proper. I wore long dresses. I finally got one pair of pants because I couldn't wear pants, and now I
Oh,
choose not to wear pants. My dad was a deacon in a church, and my grandpa had a church. So we were grew
oh,
grew up with the Christian values,
uh huh.
and but I just wanted to spring out and had fun like everybody else. So everywhere I went, I was chaperoned by my two oldest brothers, and I also became their mother. I was like mother number two. So when dad left, I became my brother's mom. So I was mom number two, and I prepared all the food, all the cleaning, all the ironing for the whole household. And like I said, I was groomed to be a housewife. And so my brothers, they still, even though we're much older now, 40 years later, they still think they can tell me who I can date
Yeah,
and who
yeah.
I can't date. They'll
Ah,
watch
okay.
over me even today.
Ah, interesting, interesting. I mean, yeah, I mean, it was a different time back then, but that's good. You grew up with a conservative, background. I think growing in that environment always preserves you and makes you a little bit better than it is the society it is now. So that's awesome. Um, Interesting how you mentioned that you had some bodyguards, right? And the brothers and the family were all closer together back in the eras back in we can just say it could be the 60s, 70s, or the 50s in America. Things have changed now, right? How does that make you feel?
Yeah, it was the 60s.
Okay, okay, awesome. I want to say hello to Rashida here. She's a good friend. She was also on the show as well, and so appreciate her being here. I think she's in the East Coast somewhere. Thank you for being here, Rashida. She's an awesome person, good friend. Okay, all right, good, good. We learned about that one. Let me go ahead and give you to the next one here. Okay, next question is: if your life had a theme song today, what would it be?
I can think of so many
Tricky one.
songs that I really like. I like Staying Alive.
Uh huh.
I like that girl is
Sing a
on
lot of music.
fire. That girl is on fire. Um, I like Payback by James Brown. That was my first album as a teenager. I was 16. Um, I can
Wow.
dance really good. I mean, I was raised very conservative, but we watched the American Bandstand, and I
Uh
learned
huh.
all these dances. And then Soul Train came out. There was never a dull moment at my home. I'm not surprised that working, living with all boys, and then I got a job working with all men. Life was wonderful.
Oh,
Life was
that's amazing.
wonderful.
That's awesome. Have you ever had any? What was one of the challenging things you had growing up in Vegas? Is there any challenges you are mentioning your positive life that you grew up with? Is there any challenges that you faced?
Well, there was some racial things that with the riots with California moved over into Nevada. There were some things in the schools.
Mhm.
But when I was in school when I was in the fifth grade, they integrated the schools,
Yeah.
which was good for me. When they schools, some white teachers moved into our neighborhood, moved into our school. Some of the black teachers went across town, and both. But I was raised very proper, not to talk back, to hold my head down, and I heard a lot. I'd never repeated it though, other than to my mom. And I'm thank God they did, because I had a teacher in the fifth grade that changed my whole trajectory in life.
Uh huh.
He taught me how to read and taught me math. I was at a second grade level in the fifth grade. He brought all of that up to par. They put me in a special science program. And with what he taught me, it changed my whole trajectory to become into the electronic engineering, the electrical field, everything basically I learned because I was the teacher's pet.
Oh wow.
And he would come to school early and he would come to school late. As long as you wanted to learn, he would stay. And that man changed my entire
You
life.
want to do a shout out to him? Do you know his name? Do you remember his name?
No, I don't. I try to remember him, but I don't remember his name today.
That's amazing because we all have teachers or instructors or educators that we always remember. I even remember mine, and one particular one is Miss Majid. That she was actually my substitute teacher. We connected with, and we're still in touch with 30 years later, right? And so I just turned 40, and you always remember those memories. And even the second grade teacher, the third, you know, you have a relationship with them in a good, positive way. In fact, my second grade teacher came so close to our family to be able to know my family, all that that we would go out as a family together. You know, she knew my parents and that and trusted them, and so we became so close as we became friends and family. So that's one of the first things that you become aware of from your teachers and your family at a young age, right? I think you're cutting off there. Mhm. Can you hear me, Paulette? Okay, you might want to reconnect if it's not coming in. Can you hear me? Paulette, can you hear me? Yeah, if you want to reconnect, maybe it'll get better. But we're losing the audio there. Okay, can you hear me? Okay, I think we lost her though. Yeah, exactly, Rashida. That's good. One good teacher can change life for the better. Okay, I think she's joining us now. Let me bring her on here. Okay, I know if you're joining from there. Miss Paulette, can you hear us? I think her connection is not good there, but try to rejoin. Miss Paulette, can you hear us? Okay. Are you joining us now? Back? Can you hear us now? Okay, I think she has an issue with her connection. Yes. So Mr. Rashida, that is definitely good. Okay, can you hear us now? I think you need to reconnect. The connection isn't good on your end. Refresh for me, please. See if you can do that. I think the connection it keeps going out. Okay, so yeah, some good points she made there on that one. She mentioned that that her live uh, theme song that she mentioned on that one, and hopefully she will come back. I'm going to prepare the next question here for her. What's a failure that turned out to be blessing in disguise? And if you guys are watching, go ahead and type me on that one. We can mention that out as our guest arrives and comes back. So, what's a failure that turned out to be a blessing in disguise? Okay, looks like our guest hopefully is coming back now. I heard her. Okay. Hmm. Okay, I think I see her there. Okay, hopefully this is gonna work now. Hey, Miss Paulette, welcome back. How's the connection?
It just keeps going out.
Yeah, I think the connection.
Reconnect.
All right. Are you able to join from a computer or you're from your tablet or phone?
Yeah. Okay, I'm on my computer, but you can see me on the computer. So I'm on my phone as well. I can
Oh, I
see
see.
when I speak, it's showing me that I'm speaking, but you can't see me from my laptop. So I'm on my phone as well.
Oh, I see. You were on your you're on there. Okay, so we can hear you now. You're good. Okay, awesome. Thank you for joining. Yeah. Okay, so if you don't mind, here's the next question. What's a failure that turned out to be a blessing in disguise? If you can see that.
You know, it's funny you should say that. I'm going through that right now at work, um, in my business. Um, there are some things that happen, miscommunication that happened, and
Uh-huh.
but it was, and I think there were some people who decided um, how far I can go in my business, and you know, it pays not to wear your emotions on your sleeve. I did get angry a couple of times with some people, but then I love these people, so I never really attacked the main person. I just kept my mouth shut the best I can, think
Uh-huh.
about the positivity, and what it did is push me to the next level.
Oh,
So these people, not not just at work, but some other people came against me to say bad things about me, which was not true. But my co-workers defended me and said, what you're saying is not true. We known her for 15 years, and what you're saying is not true. So even though some people may say things and do things, I've learned to just to be quiet and trust in the Lord and let him work everything out. And that's what he did.
that's
You
amazing.
don't
That's
you
amazing.
don't have to go down in the dirt with the dirt.
Exactly. Yes. And so, yeah, that's what I also learned. It's like, why is that worth it? What somebody says to you or whatever, just let it go because in 100 years from now or 300 years from now, is that going to really matter?
It won't
And so,
matter. It
yeah,
doesn't
exactly. So I started to put my mindset that way in terms of thinking then. So it doesn't matter, what people say, what people do, they're gonna do it. So I tend to laugh it out. How do you tend to come up with stuff that happens in your daily life, and that you tend to do it by humor? Do you try to go confront it, or do you try to back it off?
I have to back up my facts in my business. I have to show solutions.
Yeah.
There's people that's suffering and they need help. A lot of people, they have questions. Am I going to have enough? I'm a financial professional, and they may ask, when can I retire? Do I have enough money to retire? So I have to be able to submit evidence when I present that, hey, this is what's going on now in the market. This is a trajectory to the future. Here's the evidence to support that. So I can't speak just off the top of my head. I must have evidence to support anything that I'm saying because your dollars, my dollars are important to me. I'm sure your dollars are important to you.
Yes.
So my job is to show someone, hey, if you stay the way you are, you're going to stay in this. In 5 years, you're going to be in the same situation. Or you can change the trajectory of your life and your family's life by doing such and such and such. You being the master of control, but I'm just going to educate you. My job is to educate you. You're going to make the final decision on what we're going to do.
Amazing, amazing. That reminds me, like if somebody says, "Don't steal," you're reminding them, "Don't steal." You do a couple of times. That's mentioned in all the religious books, all that, and then the person steals. Like you advise them, you're not at fault at the moment. That person did the opposite of what you told them. Here's Rashida, who's a good friend. By the way, Rashida will be coming tomorrow. I do a singing show as well. I host it.
Oh, really?
Rashida will be come tomorrow. She'll be a guest on the show. We did the auditions, and tomorrow is the auditions game two, show two. And so
Okay.
we have four or three judges, a couple of hosts. So she's going to be there. So if you have time to watch it tomorrow, it's actually going to be 9 in the morning, 12 Eastern. So Rashida says, great advice, Miss Paulette. God has control. And when he wants success for you, nothing and the haters say or lie. Amen to that. About you can
Amen.
interfere with God's plan. Keep your faith. Exactly right. Like we said, it doesn't matter what people say. And in the end, because I used to be like that. I used to be that victim person who we would say, "Oh, this is me, this is that," and I would care. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, I turned 40. Why does it matter? I have my life. Why do I care about so many people about what they said to me about me? It doesn't really matter. Okay.
But you know what? I love wins all. The charity and love in the
Yeah.
Bible. You
Mhm.
can mistreat me, you can treat me bad, but I don't have to go there.
Yeah. Exactly.
I love you. I don't care because I love you as a godly love. Even
Exactly.
though
That's
you
right.
may try to hurt me, I still love you. I'm not a
Exactly.
fool. I'm not going to stand and get knocked down and twisted, but I still love you. And I'm not going to allow you to turn my pure heart black
Yes.
into something negative when God has been working on me my entire life. Okay, I left the church for a while and did some partying things, but when times got hard, I started praying for the Lord to lead me back to what I had before I
Absolutely.
started dating.
Because life is short. You can go anytime, and if you're going there with a bad heart, or you're going there and you're hurting people, that's not the point of that. Why do a lot of people? This is a good question for you. Why is a lot of people, when something happens to them, they go to negativity? Somebody yells at you, you go back instead of going to positivity and pushing that through to the other people. So why do you think a lot of people go towards the negativity, bad to bad, rather than bad to love?
Because they don't realize that there's a spiritual fight.
Yeah.
They don't realize that they say, well, there's no God, because if there's a God, all these things wouldn't be happening. Like the flood, the children in Texas, with all the airplanes falling out of the sky. So they look at it as if God is not in control, even though all these things are happening. They don't have the faith to know that God is going to pull us through. That so they look at the negative side because of it comes from childhood. I have a degree in psychology. I have 3, 4 degrees,
Ah,
and people only know what they see and what they experience. If a person is adopted and they only receive negativity, they did not receive the love. They didn't receive secure attachment before 4, 6 years, 4 or 5, 6 years
yeah.
old. Their mindset is different from most people' mindset.
Yes.
They see the negative because even though some may be adopted, some of them are mistreated.
Yes.
And so they say there cannot be a God because of all these things that's going on. And so what they do, they take it out on other people.
Exactly. Yeah, a lot of them too. Also, when you mentioned the flooding, that's also preparation, right? If the weatherman tells you there's going to be a flood coming in, you're not going to stay there. You're going to move. God wants you to go there and prepare and do that. You're not going to be sitting there. You see a lion in front of you, you're not going to sit there and say, "God protect me." You're going to go run or hide or somewhere. So you have to have that protection and also have the faith as well.
Yeah, and you know what? They were just showing on Instagram that the animals are moving.
Yeah,
They're sending in specialists to figure out why are the bears, why are the moose, why are these people heading to higher land? These people, these the animals know that something is happening, and they are moving into higher land.
amazing. That's amazing. All right. Our friend from Bangladesh says, I can hear you. And then he says, loving the energy, Omar Palat. What a brilliant exchange. Awesome. Here's a question I ask everybody. If I were to create a product or concept to benefit humankind, what would it be? What is something that has not been created that Palat would love to create to humanity to help them out?
I wish that we didn't have to starve. I mean, we were not raised with a lot of money, and there was time when my mom and dad separated, and my mom had to get food, and my mom had to find a job. My mom didn't even drive till she was 28 years old. She was totally dependent on dad. And I wish there was a way that no children can go without food,
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing.
go without water. I wish that every kid, before we build all these hotels, because I used to wire them. I was the first African American high voltage
Uh-huh.
electrician in the United States and Canada. I wish there was a way that we can feed the children, because I used to do outreach for my church and knocked on
Yes.
doors and bring food to these children whose parents was using their food stamps for
Oh,
drugs.
really? Wow. That's crazy.
So when I came to California, I would have like 3 busloads of
Uh-huh.
kids, bringing them to church. I don't want to see one child going to bed hungry. I don't care where they're from. They could be Africa, they can be India, they can be whatever. I don't want to see one child go to bed hungry. And I wish there's a way we can do that.
That's amazing. If you had the resources or if you had something, money or whatever is needed, where would you start? What would be the first thing you would start with?
First, I would start with my church, because we have missionaries that we send money to help their church. But it would start with the family. It would start with the. I had such a wonderful childhood until dad decided to leave.
Yeah.
But it was such a wonderful, wonderful time with mom and dad in the same household. Mom and dad would race on bicycles. My mom was so athletic. She could outbeat everybody running. She was just like really in good shape, and she would beat my dad all the time. We would laugh, and it was such a wonderful life. And I would wish that on every child to have that, because I was my dad's first. I was the only girl because my sister died, and I was spoiled by him.
Hmm.
I was spoiled by my dad,
You were what?
and I was spoiled by
Oh,
my dad.
spoiled.
My
You were
dad
spoiled.
spoiled me.
Oh, well, okay.
I was spoiled. He treated me very
Uh
special,
huh.
very very special. My family still treats me special
Mm.
because of my dad.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. You have a good heart, says Paulette, Miss Paulette, says Rashida. You do have a good heart. You're amazing. There are actually 250 people watching right now, from what I'm looking at.
Oh, really?
250 people watching right now. Amazing, amazing. All right. Comment if you guys are watching as well. And I appreciate you. Awesome. All right. Usually this show is 30 minutes. But we had no delay in the beginning with that tech issue and stuff like that. But appreciate you being on the show. You're a wonderful person. And then with the last slide here, tell us about yourself. Who is Paulette as a person, who she is, and what do you like to achieve in the next 5, 6 years?
Well, who I am, I worked with my company for 15 years. I cannot say the name of the company because before you do anything live, you have to get approval, and I didn't get approval. So I can't name the company, but I do amazing things. And I'm going to describe some of the things that I do. I do 7 things. We help people make, save, multiply, protect, redirect, pay little to no taxes on the long-term investments, estate planning with wills and trusts. Why is that important? It's because people like Michael Jackson, Prince, even Angie Stone, who just passed away, and Aretha Franklin did not have estate planning. and all of their assets are tied up in court. That means their family can't have access without someone monitoring everything. And we
Yes.
just had one of our coworkers pass away, and he had everything set up in place. And so we arranged it that his wife would get everything that he had because it's already set up. The state doesn't get anything. People don't realize if you pass away, you have no access to your bank accounts,
Mhm.
you have no access to your assets,
Yes.
and everything is locked up. So I have a passion to help people keep what they have and leave it as a legacy for their family so that the kids can eat. It all wow, I just realized something. It all's coming back down to the children.
Yes.
I don't want the children suffering. I don't want the children on the street. I just now realized one of the reasons why I do what I do.
That's amazing. That's amazing. You have a good heart, Paulette. That's awesome. That's. I wish we need more people like that, and then that's why I like to do the show. 45 people ahead of you were on the show, and we're on break right now, and so I couldn't take the opportunity to bring you on the show. I had to bring you on the show to wait until the fall time. We're starting the fall with the new one, changing the background, and that's why you might see a little bit fuzzy in the back here and there. But we're pulling up some new things for the new season, season 4. I really appreciate you being here. I know it was a little short time, but any last minute words we'd like to say? Paulette is a good soul, good heart, wants to help the children. She grew up in Vegas from a poor family, and then was a good She had a good family. Her parents, her siblings were taking care of her, and then yeah, that's it. Any last minute words would you like to say to our audience?
Well, I left Las Vegas after doing the electrical work. My pastor sent me to California, and that's how I met a lot of people in my business to knock on doors to reach the children and help the children. That's where I reached out to children and senior citizens. And when I got sick in the hospital, they came one police officer and a detective from that neighborhood came and rescued me out of the hospital. They thought I was a celebrity. God is good.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Wow. That how can we beat that? Awesome. I appreciate you, Ms. Paulette, for being on the program, number 46. And sorry for the beginning of that era, but that happens. If it was me 5 years ago, I would care about these things. But now, because we shouldn't worry about these things, because these things are going to drag you. Things happen, technology happens. So I do appreciate you being here. It worked. It worked in the end. It worked, right? We were able to get the
Yeah,
questions in.
thank you so much.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but thank you so much for having me on the show. I really appreciate it.
No worries. Absolutely. I appreciate you being here as well. And come back. Yeah, I might do some more specials and bring you on. You said your specialty is mental health. Maybe I'll bring you back for a special show like that for mental health.
Well, my specialty right now is financial services, but I do have mental health, and I want to do a special on
Domestic violence. You're cutting off again. Okay. She cut off there. Does that mean that we're about to go? She cut off. Okay. You're back now. Say that again.
received a call.
Oh, you feel a call. Okay. Right when you got the call, it got cut off there. So go ahead and repeat that. You can do. You said domestic something. You mentioned mental health. You mentioned mental health. Oh, can you hear me? Can you hear us? Okay. All right. So she's out there. That was Paulette Errol. She was a wonderful guest, number 46. We'll be back for another episode. Actually, tomorrow we do have a show with I guess Kofi. We're gonna discuss his book tomorrow around the same time. We'll see you then.